Quantos tuo uzuncarum ungularum delectatque contremescit me intro.
Pee in the purple potty, please.
Pee in the purple potty, please.
Unique New York. Unique New York.
Pee in the pee.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of 13th Elm. That's right, it's your favorite horror podcasts. I'm here with Rob and Michael. Say what's up.
What's up?
Hi.
We also have a special guest that we're gonna get to here in a minute, but I gotta apologize. Elmers. I said that we were gonna be in West Virginia at the end of last week. Big mistake.
East Virginia.
Big fucking mistake. We have a lot of people that work for 13th and Elm, right?
You know what they call East Virginia?
What?
Virginia.
I was not aware. When did they rename it?
Sometime after the wolf died.
Ah, their wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we have at least 100 regular employees and double
99.
that part-time.
Oh, it's only 99?
99
We got rid of
after...
fuckhead Tom?
Yeah, you know why?
What?
99.
Oh, it's this fuckhead Tom's fault though.
I emailed him and I said 3 first-class tickets to West Virginia. Thank you, love 13th and Elm.
I didn't think you could get a first-class ticket to West Virginia.
Turns out he's dyslexic, got us second-class tickets.
To West Virginia.
To West Virginia, which means there's a 4-week layover
4 weeks
in Austria.
In Austria.
God.
We're stuck. I mean, you guys tried to say it. I cut you off, but we're stuck. We are in the Austria airport, fucking just lobby, and we're stuck. I don't even know what the airport's called because I was on my way
Is
to
it
my
called
home.
the Transylvanian Airport?
Oh my!
I don't even think we're in Austria.
Sir?
I can't read anything in German. How's your German, Bill?
Oh, bueno.
So you can see why I've been stuck here for 4 weeks.
We've been. Oh God.
All I gotta say is we got 99 employees and Tom ain't one.
Tom is not one anymore, and we were like, fuck. All right.
We did have to replace him though with our special guest.
We had to figure this out. And I was like, hey, we can fly out the 13th and Elm graphic designer, the one that's made all the fucking badass logos that you YouTube fucking freaks see.
Banksy?
We are here with Banksy. No, even better, because he's not a little fucking turd.
What is he like?
He is
Banksy's a male?
No, graphic designer.
Oh.
She's great. Like I said, we have 99 employees, and as of now, not fired.
Not.
What?
We'll see how it goes. Well, because Tom, we just talked about, Tom was 100 and he got fired.
Which is crazy because I think he developed cancer recently, and then
Yes!
I don't know why Tom DeLong wanted to work for 13th and Elm.
He used his fucking PTO up already.
What a fucker. Us giving him PTO and him using it?
Chemo?
That's
Oh, okay.
not why we give it. We give it to you as a nice gesture and expect you to never use it.
It's not PT chemo.
I know. God, I hate it when they use PT
personal
chemo.
time off. He could have opted in for CTO, cancer time off. It's only $3,000 off his paycheck a month, and he didn't. But anyway,
Idiot.
But fucking idiot, Tom, you fucking idiot.
I'm so glad
He
that
died,
we've
I think.
raised the bar and raised the flag for a little more Kaya.
Welcome Kaya to the podcast. Like I said, she designed our badass fucking logos. And what movie did we watch this week? We watched fucking Young Frankenstein, 1974. Well, Mel Brooks. You picked this. Why did you pick it?
You wanted to say Mel Gibson so bad. I heard it. I heard it.
Tell
me I'm wrong.
I'm pretty sure Mel Gibson hates Mel Brooks for reasons that should be apparent.
Oh. Guten Tag.
Mein
What's up?
Fraulein.
Hi, I'm Kaya.
Hi, Kyle.
What's up, Kyle?
Welcome to 13th Elm. Long time Elmy, first time Elmer.
Yeah, thanks for hiring me, I guess, and inviting me on today.
Yeah, we just need to get you a W-2 by the end of the day.
Okay, yeah, I'll make sure to write that off. Can I write off this time, too?
No.
You bought time.
I didn't. No, I thought you bought my time.
Oh, I thought you were cooking something.
No.
It wasn't that.
Basil?
Oh, thyme.
Oh, thyme. Yeah.
What are you talking about? Thyme. No.
Yeah, we could write that off.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, just give us receipts. So it's pretty standard.
Did you want my airplane ticket, too? Can I?
No, we're not going to write that off, but we'll write off the thyme.
Because you, hired me right when you were doing this big trip, and I had to fly into Transylvania.
Yeah, you were coming this way, though, weren't you?
Bill mentioned you had, a lot of miles or something.
I mean, they're personal miles, but yeah.
He made it sound like you didn't care, and it was
This is
okay.
business.
Yeah, technically, it's,
Yeah, so we're wasting time. Let's get into the movie.
yeah, time's money. Time's money.
Time is money. Money is time.
And my thalamus is swollen. I need an iodine tablet.
So this movie stars Gene Wilder, Peter Boyle.
Gene Hackman.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Peter Boyle.
Peter Boyle. Yeah.
Cloris Leachman.
Cloris Leachman.
Terry
Terry Gar.
Gar.
She's very funny.
And
And
what was
beautiful.
it? Madeline Kahn.
Terry Gar is really pretty.
Pretty. Rolling the hay.
There's a handful of beautiful people in this film, including Gene Wilder, actually. His hair is one of the stars of the show, always, but it does not disappoint in Young Frankenstein.
It's gorgeous.
His beautiful and crazy blue eyes.
Marty
His
Feldman.
mustache.
Oh wait, who are we talking about?
Corey Feldman?
Oh
Corey
no,
Feldman.
Marty Feldman. Who plays Thor?
Yeah. That's sexy.
I don't know about sexy. He's definitely unique.
He's
New York,
He's got good asymmetrical eyes.
which is what you want.
In Hollywood.
Thor.
It was funny.
Directed by who directed this?
Not Mel Gibson.
Mel Brooks.
Mel Brooks.
God, what a funny man.
He's little, but he's big funny.
He's little and Jewish and funny, and old, very old now,
Very rich.
and very rich.
And he also made another movie the same year, Blazing Saddles.
Same year. That's
Same
fucking
year.
insane.
Fantastic film.
That's
Honestly,
such a good little piece of...
did you guys grow up with Mel Brooks, in the house,
Yes.
like his
Not
films
really.
and stuff? No.
I think it was too. I think my parents were too aware of it. They knew it so well that they were like, "This is a little too much." Although I did watch Young Frankenstein when I was a kid, but I think that it's really just the ending that kind of gets really sexual.
Okay,
But,
so they knew it was bad.
They
Let you watch it
knew,
anyway.
yeah, but they let us watch it. I think they knew that we were fascinated by Gene Wilder and he was awesome.
Who isn't?
And so they were like, "Yeah, we'll let them watch it." But I've never seen Blazing Saddles because of that, because I didn't grow up watching it.
It's fair. It's a great film. It's definitely of its age, and when you watch it, you know that.
Mm-hmm.
Weirdly enough, this film, Young Frankenstein, I think is the only Mel Brooks film where he doesn't play a character in it.
On
And
screen, yeah.
That was by Gene Wilder's request.
Oh yeah, he was fucking adamant about that. It was an ultimatum that he gave him. Gene Wilder was like, "I'm not going to be in this film unless you're not in it." And it's one of the only contentious, relationships in this movie. They obviously had a good time making this. There's a lot of outtakes and a lot of the, trivia. There's a lot of ad-libbing, a lot of comedy going on. But I mean, I'm the same way as Kai. I didn't really grow up on this. I don't know if it was because my parents just weren't cool and hip enough and funny enough to be into it, or maybe they were, like hers, that the same. They were aware and they were like, no, this is too inappropriate. Watched a lot of Monty Python. As a kid, I feel like this is a similar vein. I kind of feel like
Definitely.
my parents at least knew about it and either were not fans or thought it was too mature.
That's fair. I mean, yeah, Monty Python's definitely the same level of like blue comedy. It's a lot of puns, a lot of physical comedy.
I mean, there's nudity in that movie too, and I feel like I was shown that before I would have been shown this.
Which film?
Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Oh, okay. I was like, there's a couple.
Yeah, so when I think money, like my mind just goes to Holy Grail. That's my dad was obsessed with it. It's the first, one that I saw when I was super young. But
there's definitely nudity in Life of Brian and
yeah.
Eric Idle's hanging fucking hog in Life of Brian. That shit was tight.
It was. Well, it was loose.
Life of Brian's my go-to correlation with Monty Python, just because it's like a personal favorite. Because I don't know, I love Michael Palin in that skit where he's the bad guy with the leper. Is just fuck. That's so good, man.
Or what have the Romans ever done for us?
Oh, that's a classic. This is Monty Python's great, and Mel Brooks is definitely in the same vein. And maybe some of it was lost on me culturally because I didn't grow up
Jewish
in the UK. But what I'm saying is, when I watched Mel Brooks movies, I knew that it was a little bit more off color than even some of the Monty Python stuff is. And I feel like a lot of the Monty Python humor is derived from it being like smarts, and sometimes I feel like Mel Brooks operates on two different levels, and sometimes the joke is obvious, but there's a higher level of the comedy laughing at the joke within itself, and that maybe hasn't aged so gracefully, like Blazing Saddles. Anybody who's seen the movie can name a couple scenes, one in particular. We don't need to get into it, but it's blatantly racist. More often than not, Mel Brooks movies are, and this is even actually has some of that as well in it.
It depends on how you feel about Transylvanians and also women.
Yeah.
But
it's also comedy.
Yeah, it's like Always Sunny. The joke is not that it's funny about racism. It's funny that those people are such shitbags. They would say and act as such, which is a fine line,
Yeah. And it's offensive to some people to toe the line, so I get why
they're
some
fucking
people
idiots.
Sure.
With no sense of humor. It's either funny or it's not. Right?
Sure.
It's up to taste.
It doesn't sound like it. It sounds like it's up to your taste.
It's either funny or it's not. That's why we do a podcast about it. So I can pontificate on my tastes.
Not arguing it. Just ask me.
I want to argue about it. Argue with me about it. God damn it.
Well, I don't think this movie's that great.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
Do you want me to go into it?
Yeah, go into it.
It's funny. It's got its moments of supreme wit. And it does a lot of justice to some of the source material, and it puts interpretation on its ear, which is always fun. But I haven't seen this since I was a child, and it was best left in the vault. It relies a lot on physical comedy. There is some, subtle racism, which offends me more because I don't think the joke was about the people pointing it out. Okay, so in the everyone's gonna want to roast everyone. No one fucking cares about this podcast. But if you talk about Mel Brooks and it's oh, but you like Blazing Saddles and they're dropping N-bombs, it's you're not getting it. Sure, but I don't know, all of the Inspector Gadget ratchety yeah, it's just I don't know. It's painting a certain person in an evil light because of their racial features or whatever, which is whatever. I'm just saying that in a pretty lighthearted movie, it was I don't know, it was a little bit uncomfortable in parts of it from a guy who watches fucking torture porn and Mother's Day and shit. It's different. Okay, it's different. This is feels like a family movie to me, and maybe a lot of it was self-reflection because I watched it as a kid and thinking about what the other movies I watched as a kid and was exposed to. But neither here nor there. Largely, this movie was waiting in between laughs and trying to talk yourself into thinking that it's still funny 50 years later when a lot of it was kind of fucking flat, and maybe I want more over the top humor, but the best laughs in this for me were snickers, and that's good. There's nothing wrong with that, but it was that's good. But I wasn't laughing out loud. I think I appreciate the film more than I enjoyed it, and I'm not going to watch it again.
Wow. It's a wild take. I wasn't expecting that from you.
I wasn't expecting it, and I've seen the movie. I know it cracked me up when I was
There's
a
like
kid.
subtle racism and too much physical comedy is like why you hate Tammy and the T-Rex.
It's different.
Don't bring Tammy into this.
I will and have, so deal with it.
It's different.
Yeah, that movie's in color.
Oh. How fucking dare you? I won't even justify that with an answer, but I'll tell you what, we're not watching a fucking film in color in our apartment for the next month.
Well, you can watch whatever you want. I have my own TV.
Why, black and white gay porn?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of interracial. I don't think what's wrong with that, but you can call it black and white. It seems a little subtly racist. I don't know.
God damn it.
I hear you and I hate you and you're wrong and stupid. I'm going to tell you why. This movie is very funny to me. It's not like I'm not riotously laughing at everything because I've seen it many, many times.
I laughed really fucking hard at this movie a
And
lot.
how many times have you seen this movie, Bill?
Once.
Yeah. Did you watch it in the year 2023?
Uh-huh.
Wow. It's almost like it stood up. Wild.
I mean, obviously, everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but yeah,
Not Michael.
Why? Because I'm
Wrong.
Mexican?
You're definitely not a nice guy.
Because I'm Mexican.
No, because you're Michael. But sorry,
I'm Michael.
we keep interrupting Bill, but go ahead, Bill.
Damn. Okay, I think Michael's a nice guy. Yeah, as a first-time viewer, I really did think this shit was fucking funny. I laughed out loud a lot, and yeah, I was stinky fucking high. But when fucking, first of all, like, I mean, just the pronunciation of all the names, like, got me. Like, that's where I was at. Just that it was like, no, it's not Frankenstein, it's Frankenstein, and Igor, and like all that shit is
Froderick.
fucking funny. And when Dr. Frankenstein stabs himself in the leg with his scalpel, is that not just like Ricky Bobby does in Talladega Nights?
It's
There's
exactly
no way they didn't directly get that from this.
Oh, it's an homage for sure.
It's the same
Or the-
fucking scene. It's insane.
Their werewolf gets me every time. Every time I'm like, God damn it. All the
That
like
shit was funny.
the sexual jokes with Inga, like which are dated for sure, but like, would you like a roll in the hay? Like, I mean, you're even like smirking just me mentioning that.
Oh yeah,
It's
they would
like-
they would have a
Fine.
one complete sentence and just one word. They'd put a bad German accent on
Oh
it.
yeah,
That was funny.
really good. So apparently, Terry Garr, initially tried out for the role of the fiance or
Yeah.
financier, and ended up losing it to Madeline Kahn. But Mel Brooks basically said, "Hey, if you can come back tomorrow with a German accent, I'll recast you as Inga." And she just responded on the phone with her German accent and was like, I can come back in the morning or I can do it now. And he put her in immediately. She's gorgeous, as is Gene Hackman, as is Madeline Kahn. But what a great cast. You know who I haven't heard from yet, though, is our special guest and graphic designer,
Ooh.
Miss
What was your funniest bit?
Kaya von Frankenstein.
We laughed hard at a lot of these bits. Just pick one.
Or pick a lot.
There are there are a lot. I think the bookcase was a good one when they, not the spinning, that was a little silly, but when he gets stuck in it,
But
it was
back.
very unexpected. His voice goes really high and he really sounds like he's struggling when you can tell he's just not. Like, it's just so over the top, but it's so deliberate and like it's just fucking funny. And then it happens again and she says the same thing. Yeah, it's just good.
What did you think about Frau Blucher? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
She's great. We watched a few bloopers, and I don't know if you've seen any of those,
haven't.
but when she comes out of character, like her voice is almost like
Jarring.
Inga. Like she's like, "Oh, Gene, stop making me laugh!" Like she just like comes out of that like sharp German accent, and it's really funny. But she, I guess, puts on a really thick accent, and I think it's really good. I mean,
You were born there.
yeah, I was born there. My last name is also German. I would say I'm German. in
Yeah.
a way. I'm not from there directly, but
I
yeah.
mean, you speak fluent German.
No, but yeah.
Oh, I forgot.
That'd be cool, but no. But yeah.
I think there's a lot of one-liners. I mean, the whole movie has a ton of one-liners. But one of my absolute favorites is when she's playing the violin and they're being confronted up, and she's going up the stairs. She's like, "Yes, yes, say it. He was my boyfriend." God, I love that bit.
That fell incredibly flat for me, really.
Mm.
I was just like, that... I don't know. There was just a silent room when I was watching that.
Okay, wet blanket over here.
I'm trying.
Alright, well, fuck. Here, I don't want to distract the party. There's 3 mics.
What?
Shut up.
Wait, are they? Oh no, I thought we had a gate change, but
Hold on, someone's coming on.
What number is that? 13th Elm kind of county? Y'all being arrested.
Conwald.
What the fuck?
Conwald? No.
I don't speak Austrian.
9?
I don't think that was us. There's some other people
Can we get
here
some Schicktorte over here, please?
by 13th and Elm.
Kirschwasser Schicktorte, please.
Wouldn't that be cool if we were at gate 13E?
Did they put letters at the end of gates?
They have it in the wings.
Oh, they
It's
put it at
wing
the
E.
beginning of the... Sure. Oh, because they reverse it.
Well, we're down under.
We're not in Australia.
What?
Austria.
Yeah. We're down under.
Is that why you were screaming at that teenager at Starbucks for a rack of ribs?
It also explains why he kept screaming for Foster's.
Wait, what the fuck are you guys talking about?
You were screaming at that girl for a Foster's.
Yeah,
That was Starbucks.
Whoa, it's fucking Australia. They have Fosters fucking everywhere. A bunch of drunks.
No, the
What did you guys all say on
Yeah,
the...
they are drunks, but they don't drink Foster's. They drink Eyinger and Winstefan.
Well, somebody get me a fucking beer. I said that's what I wanted. They told me when I got here, Foster's, Australian for
okay,
beer.
hold on. Ein Bier, bitte. Wow. Okay. Tensions are running high.
Can we talk about the first physical fucking bit that I remember, which is the... What is it? Is it a dead hand through the coffin where he pretends
No,
and he like,
honestly,
ooh, and he scratches it?
That's super good.
That
But
shit is so fucking
the
funny.
first one is when he's grabbing the box out of the coffin of Baron von Frankenstein, and it's the like corpse that's like holding onto it. That's like the very first scene before they get to Gene Wilder's like laboratory educational system, a class. I believe they call it a class.
And I mean, this was 1974.
14. Oh,
There's like hella bloopers for this. This is like office level fucking bloopers for this. Like they had to reshoot every scene so many fucking times because Gene Wilder couldn't stop laughing, and like so much shit was fucking ad-libbed, which is really
Great.
fucking funny. Like Igor not being able to keep the hump in the right spot
So-
became like a fucking gag, and they kept
he-
that in.
he was doing it on his own to fuck with the cast, and then a few days into shooting, the cast realized it and they put it in the movie. And also, like a lot of this movie was twice as long in the original cut.
Oh, yeah, it was like
they went
4
through,
hours.
Like a monster cutting through because Gene Wilder said that for every joke that landed, 3 didn't and fell flat. Yeah, could you? Yeah. Woof.
Would you rather watch the extended cut of this movie or
Noriko's dinner table.
This is
No,
an extended cut of this movie all time.
a new Dora film?
An extended cut of this movie. This is a good film. I just don't find it very funny, and I'm not excited to watch it again. If there was a
You're gonna watch it again?
I'll watch it
If there
again.
was a 4-hour version of this that was a little bit more raw, and it was, I don't know, yeah, I would enjoy that more as like a character study than like a film. It would be me looking at Gene Wilder doing something that he does well, which is
Right.
what this movie is.
Yeah.
But then everything else wasn't really fucking grabbing me. I don't know, man.
So
It just, go ahead.
no, sorry, but like I actually heard that this movie does kind of stick pretty close to the original source material, and that's like a universal monster guy. Like, do you agree with that? Like, obviously, like take
What's
all
the original source
tropes
material? It's a source
Frankenstein
material,
from Mary Shelley, yeah.
book? Because no.
Yeah.
not at all.
What
But
about the
neither
rest of
does
it? What about the
Universal
other Universal
film.
films? I think is what it.
Right, and it does have a lot of similarities there. I don't know, just like what's it called? It's kind of like it's not like a Shaggy Dog story, but it's kind of a misdirection where you are expecting a certain outcome because you're familiar with the source material, but the outcome that you get is quite different. That happens a lot in this movie, and it's honestly, it became a distraction for me. Like, one of the things that people love about this movie is like when he meets the little girl at the fountain. So that's an iconic scene from the first Frankenstein movie that's not actually in the novel, but the Frankenstein's monster, upon like leaving the laboratory, castle, lair, whatever, stumbles into town and finds a girl picking the daisies and
My pretty little flower.
and he picks her like up and plays like little flower games with her until he like picks her apart like a fucking flower and throws her in the fucking lake. It's brutal as shit. And in like 1932 or whatever, it's like one of the first times it happens, and a lot of it, like none of it happens on screen. It's all implied, and what happens is like one of the townspeople, and it might even be Frankenstein. I don't think it is because I haven't watched it in a long time. Frankenstein's monster walks through the town with the dead girl. Listen, she's probably like 7 or 8 in his arms, and like she's all wet from being pulled out of the lake, and it's one of the greatest moments in like horror history, right?
Yeah.
Like film history, I guess. And this movie doesn't really do the same thing, even though it plays with your anticipation and expectation that it will. And there's multiple examples of that. So like having the knowledge of the source material or the first Universal film, it does maybe set you up for Easter eggs or like insider jokes or chuckles, but I don't know.
Not a whole lot for you. You gotta appreciate the fact that he argued to keep it on black and white, and
I love that.
also read that it was a trick in black and white films to put on green face paint to
Green or blue,
to make
yeah.
it like look pale or different from like the rest of the body. So
yeah.
I mean, they had a producer on that was a producer for a different movie, and like that like kind of shows you, like, I feel like he did kind of care about preserving the feel
He definitely
in
does.
like the original story.
And I think the whole idea of like young Frankenstein and like take it, like it was fresh enough that it was fun to stand on its own, but it also was clearly an homage and it was a believable link. I don't hate this movie. It just wasn't like I didn't love it. For me, I think this would have been much better on stage, and we know that Mel Brooks has that in him. He's written some great stage performances, and there was just a lot of loud performances. Gene Wilder would have been great on stage for this. Also, fucking Frau would have been awesome on stage, and there's a lot of theatrical moments and design and set. It would have been fun, and you can even tell
they did
watching
it on
the
stage. It just kind of flopped.
Yeah, I just feel like it. I don't know.
I will say that I've never seen any of the original Universal films, and I don't know if that is a boon or a bust for watching this and knowing it, because I will say that whole scene with the little girl is not, I don't hate it, but it's like, okay, yeah, we'll get, she gets like thrown into the house, and like that's fun.
She's perfectly safe.
Yeah, she's perfectly safe. Like that's funny in its own right, but and by funny I mean like I snorted through my nose. But I wouldn't, like, that's not a standout moment for me, and it's just another part of the film. What I do love, and this might be part of the original, you'd have to tell me, but all the bits with Gene Hackman as the blind man, I love that bit. Like, and I've seen this movie a lot, and I know it's coming and everything, but just him like praying for a friend, and then the friend is a mute, but he's not because he's Frankenstein, and just like the hot soup thing, and the lighting the candle, and like and the wine glass being smashed. Like, I love physical comedy, and I know both of you do in the right settings and the right cast and all that. But Gene Hackman was a tennis partner of Gene Wilder, and he was talking about this film, and he basically begged him to like get me into this movie because I've never done a comedy before, and he worked for free. And it took like 4 days to shoot that little 5-minute bit or whatever. But I love that bit, I really do, and I don't know, man. You saying you wouldn't watch this movie again is wild to me. Like, not never, but like that you disliked it or found it so unfunny that it's like, I'll pass.
I was surprised myself.
Well, we learn about ourselves every day.
That scene does not call back anything that was in the Universal or the source material. Frankenstein's monster doesn't really encounter many people intimately, other than the girl in that first Universal film. But that scene with the girl, it is notable because it was at the time like one of the most wildly infamous and over the top and completely abhorrent graphic depictions of,
Child murder.
On screen. So
there's like 6 movies out of this time.
Yeah.
Like it's what gets him caught too, because he's carrying her around town because he's kind of like sad. He like lost his friend.
His toy, kind of.
Yeah,
even.
and he's just like, what do I do? And then they're like, you kill that girl? Like
this monster.
Kill that girl. But I think you guys were saying that it didn't really stand out in Young Frankenstein, but I think when they're looking down the well together and they're talking about the things that they're going to throw down, and then he like does that look. He breaks the fourth wall and he like looks at the camera like, should I throw her down there? But he doesn't do it. I kind of wish he does though, because that'd be brutal. And that would like match better to the source. But it is funny that he throws.
And then he doesn't.
He throws her into the house instead, which is still like really weird. But
honestly, what's your favorite character in this film? Anybody, all of you.
It's
not even.
I like Igor, but Frankenstein is just so like Gene Wilder is a powerhouse in this.
Oh, he's electric.
But like I don't know, you need your like. I like the Igor to the Frankenstein, and it's really kind of, if it was just Gene Wilder, I would have liked this movie less.
Yeah, no, I mean Marty Feldman's fantastic as Igor, and Peter Boyle's great too. Especially, I mean, not just the physical and all, like him talking through like grunts and moans, but the looks he gives, and then towards the end where he's like, has cerebral spinal fluid, like modernized or moderated, and he can speak, fluently and accurately. He's great, and he's great playing the monster, where he's wearing like lifts and stuff, but if you're being cast as like, you look like Frankenstein, like you either lean into that or you don't. So
I would love that so much.
But I mean, you're not buff enough, honestly. But you need a zipper on your neck too.
I think they can do all of that for you.
If you want.
Got HGH.
Huge, gross hog.
A huge, gross hog. Well, it's definitely one of those.
It's a hog.
It's gross.
Wow.
I'm trying to think of other good fucking moments from this.
All the saying goodbyes with Madeline Kahn.
Oh yeah, what did she ad-lib? The no tongue.
Yeah,
when they
no
kiss.
tongue.
No tongue.
Well, it's just like, what did she say? No, not the lips. I've got that party after. She's taffeta, darling. Taffeta, darling. No, the dress is taffeta. It wrinkles easily.
She was great, and like you guys were talking about earlier, like Mel Brooks does kind of steal the show and puts on a great performance, and he also kind of alluded to, like, it's really hard to do that without really great supporting actors as well. A movie where only one person gives a great performance, I would say 9 out of 10 times it's not a good fucking movie. I can't think of one, but yeah, it's like, I mean, he had the right people at his side to really fucking elevate him, and I think the fact that he was having so much fun really helped his character be more silly and out there, because we've talked about this on multiple movies, and on the last one where it was like Brad Pitt had this huge fucking thing where he like didn't want to be in this movie, and it like kind of reflects in their performance, and then you like kind of see it on the opposite way when, like, how we talked about the blind man, Gene Hackman, who over like a game of tennis like begged to be in the movie and offered to do it for free, and they shot him for 4 days. He's in it for less than 4 minutes. And you can tell. I mean, you can tell when people want to be in the movie and in the role. And Peter Boyle as the monster was so fucking great at that, and the putting on a Ritz scene,
Oh,
which almost got cut. Which, when you think about a 4-hour-long movie, I'm an editor, right, on the floor, and I'm looking at a 4-hour-long horror comedy, and I see a 3-minute, scene of them putting on a Ritz. That's getting cut, right?
So that Peter Boyle ad-libbed all of that.
Yeah.
Like his noises. As did Gene Hackman ad-libbed a lot in that film, or in that scene, like specifically, like, I'm going to make espresso.
Yeah, which that scene had to fade to black immediately because everybody lost their mind, and they tried to do it like 15 more times, and no one could do it without laughing, so they had to use the first take, which is just him saying it and just it immediately fading to black.
So they did reshoot some of that, and so the scenes of the monster having hot soup poured on his lap was actually Mel Brooks' hands doing that.
Yeah.
And Mel Brooks also voices the cat yowl when they're playing darts, with Inspector Kemp.
And the wolf, I believe, is a wolf.
And also the wolf.
He does a howl.
He does the howl.
But he's not on screen.
He's not on screen, but he's still in the film. Speaking of, I fucking love Inspector Kemp. He's hilarious. With all that, like his prosthetic arm that's got like the ratchet elbow thing, and then at the end he like pulls it off. He's like, to the lumberyard.
That's a great bit, and I was like, this is gonna get old. And I laughed every fucking time he moved his arm.
He got the part when he agreed to wear a monocle over an eye patch.
Yeah.
Which is so fucking stupid and great. And he even drops it and like rubs it clean and then puts it back in his eye patch eye. And every time he's
so funny. His facial hair.
The mutton chops, and him like speaking with a way over the top accent, and all the villagers being like, "What? Footsteps." God, just
I swear he does. Yeah, he just like mumbles words. Sometimes he just yells something.
He will curse the day he became a Frankenstein. He will curse the day he was born a Frankenstein.
What about the big hog, the big Frankenstein or whatever?
Schwanzstücke.
To talk about, because like he fucks, right? And it's like
that's a bit.
And it's a bit.
It's a big bit.
Oh, it's a big bit. But from what I remember from watching, is she kind of is like doesn't want to fuck him, but then realizes how big his dick is, and it's like, all right, it's fine.
Yeah, literally, Madeline Kahn.
Is that kind of how it goes, or?
For me, it does.
For me, it didn't.
Okay.
You have anything to add?
You have an enormous Schwanzstücke. Well, that goes without saying. But yeah, she just says woof, which I can identify with. Kaya, you got any?
Nine.
Nine. She's more.
That's pretty good.
She's more of a meow.
That's pretty fucking good.
She's more of a meow.
Oh, whoa.
9. Woof.
No, she says woof. Both of them. Inga says woof, and Madeline, I can't remember the character's name. She says woof.
That also didn't get old. I know I already mentioned it, but the fact they just say a completely normal sentence, but then just say va instead of the one time.
Z instead of the and all that. It's stupid, and
it's so dumb.
Great. Also, all of the laboratory equipment was the original laboratory equipment from the original Frankenstein movie.
That's cool as fuck.
Mel Brooks went and contacted the guy who did all the set design, and he had all of it in storage, and basically said, hey, I'll pay you, loan it out to me, and I'll give you a credit that you never got in the original Frankenstein film, which is super cool, and totally on brand for Mel Brooks to like want to be an original and also give credit to people that would not receive what was due.
Ken Strickfaden,
right? Ken
was
Strickfaden.
his name. So if you're listening, Ken,
but
here's a second shout out.
Second shout out. I also
made it to 13th Elm.
Yeah, you went from Mel Brooks to 13th and Elm.
Talk about an upgrade. I do love when they go and dig up the body, and they're like, Marty Feldman, who plays Igor, is like, that could be worse. Could be raining. And it just starts pouring down immediately. Like, I love that dumb shit.
And you know, too, like, as soon as he says that, I'm like, oh, it's going to start raining.
It's gonna start raining.
And it's still funny.
It's still funny. But, I'm quite a brilliant surgeon. I could help you with that hump. What hump?
What hump?
Let's go. Igor, could you help me with the bags? Sure, you take the blonde, I'll take the one in the turban. I make the suitcases.
That line is so fucking funny. And when we watched the bloopers, they had to redo that scene. That's like the
100
scene they
times.
had to do the most, because when he bites Elizabeth's like
her
fox fucking
fox,
thing,
yeah.
the fur wasn't supposed to get stuck in his mouth, and it did like the first or second try, and everyone thought it was so fucking funny they just
Kept
could
it.
not film it. But yeah, that line is great just because Igor, like,
Igor.
he like struggles to keep up in like most conversations, but then you say help with these bags, and he just knows to drop this fucking line about this like very specific I don't even know what I'm trying to
Me either.
say.
Also,
Be sharp with it. Yeah.
Yeah, like that was
Oh,
like
you-
a clever joke from someone
Quick,
that is
if you will.
is like in the film to be an idiot.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a fool. Yeah. You made a yummy sound. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. Honestly, the amount of mileage they got out of Peter Boyle going is amazing.
He was
It
great.
really is.
He was great, and I was excited to see him because I read his name and I was like, "That's a name of someone I know." And then he was on
You
the
know him
screen,
personally.
and I was like, "Holy shit, that guy looks like Raymond's dad."
Is he
And-
Raymond's dad?
And Kai was like, "That's his fucking dad, you fucking idiot." And I was like, "Oh shit, that
amazing.
explains a lot."
How is Raymond Boyle?
Yo, what the fuck are we talking
Boyle's
about?
rule. I don't know.
Okay.
If he's doing something specific, and I'm lost. Oh,
no,
Boyle?
you said you knew he was Raymond's dad.
Everybody loves Raymond.
Oh,
He's the dad in that movie.
A personal friend of
Oh,
you.
Peter Boyle is the dad from Raymond.
That
is that
actually, yes, that's totally him. That's Peter
that
Boyle.
does, dude? That's wild.
Okay, so I thought I was the only one that didn't know that, and my
No.
joke didn't land.
No,
'cause
I
I'm
thought
the
you
only
made a
one
joke
that
about how you
realized
know a
that.
guy named Raymond, and that's his dad. And I was like, how's Raymond
That's
Boyle?
why I was like, I kind of went along with it because I was like, oh yeah, Boyle, I get this, but I didn't. I didn't.
Fake it till you make it, homie.
Dude, that's great. I
Yeah.
recognize the name, and I didn't do my proper research because this is 13th and Elm, and I fucked that up.
So this was another thing that I'm pretty sure I watched it around the time that Everybody Loves Raymond was out, because me and my sister liked it, and my parents. That was like one of the things. They're like, we're gonna convince you to watch this black and white movie because this actor's in it. This actor's
Got
in it.
Willy Wonka and Raymond's dad.
Exactly. I'm in.
You're like,
Royal
fuck.
Tenenbaum.
Oh, dude, I didn't realize all that till now. Honestly, that scores points for me. That's
Do you like this film now? Will you watch
No,
it again?
no, but
No.
I'll watch clips of him on YouTube so I can look and be like, oh fuck, that's Peter Boyle, and pretend like I knew who that was. But I did. I just, spaced
Didn't
it.
realize. Yeah. No. Okay. Yeah. Because for me, it was like, what the fuck, and like, I wouldn't consider myself a big Everybody Loves Raymond fan.
I mean, you
You know
have
what
a
I mean?
poster in your bedroom.
No. The one on the ceiling.
Fine.
Well,
That was here before I moved in. I just can't reach it, so it stays.
that's wild. I mean, like, there are vaulted ceilings in this apartment, so it's 40 feet up, but
We're also not at my apartment, but you've been there, have you?
yes, I think. I
Well,
was
you
really
s-
drunk,
you
and
saw
you
us
took me
play.
home, and I kind of woke up in your bed, but
No. That was you're
My
thinking
place. That was my
of
place.
I was thinking of your
every
place.
other Wednesday night for the last 3 years.
You're right. I forgot about every other Wednesday night from the last 3 years.
And that's fine. That happens to the best of us.
Oh, man, it happens to me more often than it should. Really,
Hot, hot.
I should stop doing.
Hot. This movie's kind of sexy. We haven't really talked about like combat,
The
like
movie.
sex or anything. And
Well,
What
let me
is
tell you
the-
about Cum.
okay, tell us about Come. And I'm assuming it has to do with Terry Garr as Inga. That's the blonde that is
She's
sexy, right?
Pretty.
She is pretty.
I don't want to talk about
Come.
Terry Garr and Cum because a lot of it wouldn't be a joke. And I don't
Right.
think that that's the
Yeah.
type of podcast that this is.
I mean, you sat up to cover your boner when you
Yeah.
said that.
I'll tell
Just tuck it.
I'll
Tuck
tell you.
it. It feels good. It doesn't reach, he says.
You know that fish, that gar, Who's got those teeth?
The teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pikeys.
Yeah, pikey. Dude, we should watch Snatch. Because there's good pikeys in that. And there. What? Yeah. Really?
Is that how you say that?
Pikey?
Pikey?
Yeah.
Is that a fish?
Well,
No.
pike is a fish.
Okay, I was like,
Pikey's
okay,
a
I play
derogatory
Animal
term.
Crossing and I caught a pike.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
a pike.
I
No,
read
no.
it
No,
on the
pikey has a
screen.
Y at the end of it. Pikey's like an offensive
I
term
was like, have I
for
been saying this in my head wrong?
like travelers and gypsies in like England.
Yeah, they're just saying something horrible.
Okay, aw.
Yeah, pike is like the sharp-toothed fish. Yeah,
Yeah, like a northern.
northern pike. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking about fish. You guys
I
said
mean,
something about
they're
fish. You
pretty
said
good.
gar.
Yeah, gar.
I've
That's
caught
Terry
that in Animal
Gar.
Crossing,
Terry
too.
Fuck
Gar's
yeah,
not a
Terry
fish,
Gar.
though.
She's not a fish, she's a babe.
Yeah, she is a baby.
I'd slap her with a fish.
You would slap her with that fish.
What kind of fish?
Cold one.
Cold fish. Hey, cold fish. Is that your favorite Sion Sono movie?
It couldn't be your least favorite because
Because
terrible director.
Coldplay, Chris Martin.
Dude, I'm coming home again. We can start again. Do you think about me now?
What do you think about this plot?
Think about me now?
The movie?
No, yes, of Animal Crossing. No, of the movie.
The plot of the movie.
Yeah.
I think
That fucking
it
Jay-Z
all
comes in.
comes to a head when they swap slongs.
They don't. I think they don't swap slongs. I think they share fluids. But
Come to a head when
No.
they swap slongs.
They share fluid in their head, right?
yes, they do.
And then they swap heads.
Yeah,
They
sure.
don't.
They don't.
They don't.
But-
But no, they do though.
Not craniums.
Kind of like what is it? It's Dr. Frankenstein's grandson gets taken to Transylvania to get the will, and then ends up discovering, by accident, not really, the private library of his great-grandfather, and becomes incensed with the ability to reanimate dead tissue, despite being a man of science. And kind of a comedy of errors, ends up doing some, grave robbing and some reanimation, as you do, and is attacked by the town and eventually vindicated, as you do.
That's a good summary.
I like the walk this way bit. That is funny.
That was funny. It was so funny that Mel Brooks put it in 2 more of his films, and Steven Tyler and his band saw this film when it came out in theaters, and then the next day wrote "Walk This Way."
That's true, and
Which
that's
is
honestly
wild.
insane because that's like one of their most popular songs.
Right.
And I just like that was kind of funny in this movie.
Which is funny because he actually never says "Walk This Way" in the song. He says "Gorgeous Wayne," which is his version of Frankenstein. Gorgeous Wayne. It's a very classic, like, mishearing of "Walk This Way."
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but they
I know
did
it
in
now.
fact name the song "Walk This Way" strangely, even though it's about Gorgeous Wayne.
Yeah.
So strange.
I love a man named Wayne. Free Weezy, baby.
Wayne has bar dollars.
Is Weezy behind bars?
If you're gonna say it, please say the baby or don't say it at all.
The baby.
Weezy F baby.
Wheezy F baby.
Weezy F baby, is he behind bars maybe?
Wheezy F baby. Beelzebub baby.
Hello, motherfucker. Hey, hi, how you darn?
So we're falling off, Elmers. I don't know if you know. Fucking in the urinal. Sounds like my Friday night.
Speaking of fucking in urinals,
Oh, my mom couldn't make it to next week's host, actually.
so we're not gonna have Michael's mom next week, but
Everyone else will.
we can. She asked specifically what was off topic, and all I said was your mom's bush.
I feel like you brought it up, so now it's like canon, and we can talk about it.
Is it
So
canon?
yeah, so it's like about. Wait, who's Mom's Bush?
My mom's Bush, her name is fucking Kate.
Kate Bush.
Kate Bush.
Yes, my mom was a big fan of alternative Wonder music in the 80s, and she named her
Self.
pubic region after her
Oh.
favorite
It's really
female
funny 'cause
soloist.
I named my pubic region Glycerin after the song by Bush.
Oh my god,
Oh.
that's so good.
Holy fuck, that was horrible.
It's a deep
Jesus
Bush?
Christ.
Yeah, it's shaved.
It's a deep cut. How deep is that cut?
How
It's
deep is it?
Oh man, Elmers, if you're still here,
Then
Bless
get
you.
ready.
for me to yell in your ear. I already did. I'm sorry. No, whisper because I want to tell you what I
Rate
thought
it.
about this movie.
Yeah, rate it.
I'll
Let's
go
get the
off
ratings.
first because we can only go up from here. I think this movie was really well acted. It was well directed. It was funny enough at times. I don't think that it was my most fucking favorite. In fact, why am I beating around the Kate Bush? This is not my most favorite Mel Brooks movie. It's not my favorite Frankenstein movie. It's not my favorite horror movie. It's not my favorite comedy. It just kind of meanders around a 64. It's good. It's not great. It's a 64. Rub.
This movie is fantastic. It's funny. It's well acted. It is hilarious. It has an amazing amount of physical comedy that is timeless in its own right. Like and it's black and white, which is something that's usually a point against. And this is fantastic. The music is great. The original score, the song that they wrote, the song they wrote. That Frau Brucker plays and also Dr. Frankenstein plays on the violin is iconic and beautiful and haunting and sexy. Marty Feldman is hilarious as Igor, not only in his lines, his delivery, like his crazy eyes just fit so well, the hump moving back and forth. And Peter Boyle and all the bits with him on stage where they're doing put on the Ritz, Gene Hackman, everything. Wow. 100. Perfect film.
Ooh.
No, that's insane.
Wow. I was like, wow. I just like, yeah.
You gonna tell me what I get to rate this film is? Fuck you. I want to give this. Honestly, this is really good. It's not the best. It's not a scary movie. It's maybe horror adjacent, and because it's more comedy than it's horror, which I know is a ding for some of us in this room.
Not for me. I like it.
Sure. Yeah, you sound like you liked it.
Oh, this
And
sucked.
but let me finish. And I'm gonna say 78. It was more of a joke.
I don't know. I'm not understanding how you went from a 100 to a 78. But this was my first time watching. I mean, to echo most of what you said, I mean, I agree with everything that you said. This shit was fucking funny. I can kind of see, like, if you knew this movie from a younger age and revisit it, that I couldn't if you have, like, seen it. But as a first-time viewer, like, this dumb shit was fucking funny.
I watched this as
was-
a child, just to share.
It was really funny. The physical comedy bits were great. Gene Wilder is fantastic, as you expect him to be, and Peter Boyle is a lot of fun. Cloris Leachman has her own thing. You already said Igor, like his little bits. I mean, his eyes, his hump moving around. This movie is really fucking funny. It makes me want to watch the Universal Frankenstein movies, especially since I'm like, just to see, feel like, oh, okay, like, you know, that's why they did that. I'm sure there's lots of parallels between the two that I did not realize, but I'd give this movie a solid 83. I would watch this again. I thought it was really funny, and then I enjoyed the black and white aspect, and that they tried to do him to do color, and he told him to fuck off, and that he did the green paint on Frankenstein to help. That was like a real thing. I like that shit. So 83.
So this was my second viewing, and it was a decade and a half apart, but I think it still held up really well, and I think the same parts stood out, and I remembered them as they came up, and they were still just as funny, and I got to appreciate more as an adult, and I think that made it a better movie. And then just learning that it was so raw and so ad-libbed and improv, I didn't know that, but like being able to appreciate that and like watch some of those bloopers was like added to it, I think, and like definitely made it funnier. And I just didn't really know that was a thing for those kind of movies back then, and like to see Gene Wilder in that kind of role, like is different for me. Like, I'm so used to him as Willy Wonka, and so like seeing him kind of angry and screaming all the time, but it's so like on purpose because he wrote that role with Mel Brooks, and he like wrote all this. Like, it's his movie. That's like why he didn't want him in it. It's just so good. And even having, like, I know I haven't seen Frankenstein, but I think it, like, what I have seen of it, like, I've seen the scene of the little girl in the lake and stuff. I think it mirrors it pretty well. And it's funny every minute, and it never stops being funny. And it's the best black and white movie, in my opinion. My favorite, I mean. And I would give it a solid 85. I like
Dang,
it.
they're gonna be the low boy on this one.
Yeah.
Well, lower than so.
What are we watching next week?
I don't know. It depends if we get out of Australia.
Oh, fuck.
Well, if we ever get back
Feel
to where
on.
we're going, it might be the last time we get there. So we're gonna pay a little homage to that. What the fuck does that mean?
I
Don't
don't
know.
It's French.
I am picking my pick. Do we spill the tea?
Spill the tea.
Do we tell them? Do we tell the Elmers? Do we
Go
break the
ahead.
heart?
Burn me with
Yeah,
that
they've
tea.
been sending us this fucking mail that I'm calling my cell phone
All right.
asking to tell them.
So this will be my final pick. And kind of the final pick, because we'll open up the polls and you guys can vote on the watch along for the final episode. But
And we'll ignore it.
That's right. What's the number they have to text?
they'll text 69420 fingerfuck.com.
No.
Fingerfuck.com.
867-999-04132 99123.
Yeah, I forgot actually.
That's right. It's either those numbers. Standard text messaging rates of $10 a text do apply.
15 European pounds.
15 European pounds for
So
Bob's Line.
this will
What are we
be my last pick and the last pick. So we're gonna bring it close to home. We're gonna do Colorado,
Colorado.
Stephen King,
Stephen King.
I know
Stanley Kubrick.
Oh my god.
The Shining Hotel. That's The Shining.
Oh my god, we're watching a Grand Budapest Hotel.
Oh my god, I love Grand Budapest Hotel. That's like
That's
a horror
Wes
movie.
Anderson
It's
on
wild.
here. It's so
full of
scary.
horrors.
Whores.
I know The Shining. Fuck yeah.
So that's a movie. It's got some people in it, and
Yep.
it won some awards. And there's a guy who made that film who's
Yep.
supposedly really good at doing films. It
The
was
guy
based off of
who
the book that is
wrote that book, who
supposedly.
hated that film.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
come around. He's changed his opinion about it, mostly
come
because
around.
he's gotten a lot of texts over the last 50 years.
And also, like, public opinion.
Less drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, these were the
For
good fucking days.
Drug
Good
days,
Peruvian
baby.
cocaine.
So we're gonna watch The Shining. We're gonna wrap this motherfucker up before we finish it with a watch along, and we'll get to that after the polls have closed.
That's
Wow.
right, folks. You'll fucking see it, baby. We're doing The Shining, and then what you vote on, and that's fucking it.
Closing the morgue door.
Closing the
Close the
morgue
morgue
door.
door. Hashtag morgue door. Hashtag chrome door. Are we going to be on location in Estes Park?
We're gonna be in Estes
Oh.
Park at the Stanley Hotel. We're gonna be
Wow.
live in room 1408.
That's amazing.
Fuck yeah.
Not 214, but 1408.
Right, we couldn't get 214. Apparently, you gotta have that shit like booked out years in advance. But
That
they
makes sense.
yeah, the
Doesn't sound like a lie at all.
I figured since we could get 1408 and no one was clamoring for it, it's kind of, I don't know, it's fun because it's like Stephen King didn't have anything to do with that, but he kind of does.
Right, and we
They're
rented out
different. They're completely different. They're
we rented
different.
out the whole Stanley for all 100 staff members, right?
No, well, it's different because the Stanley Hotel is actually a compound of 3 different hotels currently. So there is the old Stanley Estate, which is the inspiration for the film, and we're going to get into that. But the thing about this one is it's all heated off a central boiler because they want to preserve the old film or the old
Right.
feel how it was built. So there's like no creature comforts in the Stanley that we're staying.
Well, because the original boiler room exploded and Freddy Krueger was killed in it, right?
Fred Krueger.
Fred Krueger. I forgot.
Mister.
That's honestly fantastic, and it's like the perfect time. It might even be snow. 'Cause it's like, what is it, January?
Inhiero.
Oh, in hielo. Sí.
Yeah.
Por fin de semana.
Bueno.
Gracias, Elmers.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I know that, Bill, you've been working on your Spanish, so why don't you sign us off?
Oh, bueno, gracias. El Familio, El de Elmers. Yeah, I'm just gonna stop before I get annoying.
Yeah, that's good.
I just want to thank the wonderful Kaya for coming and talking and watching this movie with us today. Like I said, she designed those fucking logos that you fucking YouTube fucking freaks look at, and she took pictures.
Those little toe tag pics that you like touching yourself to.
And fuck yeah, you know, big fan of the pod. She listens to the episode. She watches a lot of movies, so thank you, Kaya. We love you. Appreciate you.
Thank you
being here. So will you start us off with the classic thank you, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Yeah, bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.